Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. PUBG's PC version 1.0 release is finally here. While it doesn't bring the game to a truly finished state, for players that haven't tried the test server, 1.0 is a very different experience. The HUD has been totally overhauled, there's been a new desert map added, weapons and vehicles, performance improvements, sound effects, and much more. I covered the patch in full detail earlier this week, so be sure to check out that video for all the remaining details. Basically, this is the best version of PUBG to release since its launch in March. Hopefully the devs can make fast progress on fixes for rubber banding and general server performance. Unfortunately for console players, the latest patch for the Xbox One version of PUBG doesn't seem to have fixed much of anything. The game still suffers from massive drops in performance throughout matches, as well as rubber banding and about 140 milliseconds of input lag on average. Combined, these issues make the game a real struggle to enjoy for many players. Eurogamer's technical analysis of the latest patch has also exposed the potential issue with the game's network performance. When in close proximity to other players, they found the game's rubber banding and lag issues spike dramatically. This was something they noticed both in the game's starting moments and throughout matches as they encountered other players. It was pronounced enough that they were able to predict an enemy player well in advance of being able to see that player just based on the performance of the game. Unfortunately, it's unlikely console players will get a big patch that fixes these issues before the end of the year. The console version of PUBG is months behind the PC version in terms of development, and it will likely take some time before we see any significant improvements made to the game on console. Yesterday, Cloud Imperium Games demoed a live stream of part of a Star Citizen single-player level. It featured motion capture and voice acting work by actors like Mark Hamill and a few other faces you'll definitely recognize from other fantasy universes. The level began by showing off the incredibly detailed interior of one of the smaller capital-class ships known as an Idris. The player walks around this ship interacting with various crew members, getting briefed on the mission to come, and then going down to the hangar bay to launch out of the ship's hangar. The level itself progresses from being inside of a ship's hangar to going into a space mission, scouting an asteroid field, EVAing out of your ship, that is getting into a spacesuit and investigating for documents, then going through a planet-side landing sequence, landing your ship and getting out for a first-person shooter element. They were really showing off all the aspects of what you can do in Star Citizen, and although it ran at a very slow frame rate and you could see that the computer was really struggling to keep up with the engine, it was still quite impressive nonetheless. Fortnite's latest patch has launched Season 2 for the Battle Royale. The new season ends on February 20th and gives players the opportunity to level up, unlocking cosmetic items along the way. Unlocking everything is estimated to take between 75 to 150 hours. If you don't feel like grinding for the items, you can purchase a battle pass for 950 V-Bucks, which gives you some of the loot right off the bat. Levels can be purchased with the same currency. Currently, V-Bucks can be purchased with real money. You can also earn them by completing daily quests and making progress in the game's co-op survival mode, Save the World. The patch also includes winter holiday themed stuff like a snowball grenade launcher and the festive battle bus. As for gameplay and general performance improvements, the patch includes several fixes and boosts to performance. The full patch notes are linked in the description. CSGO's rumored Battle Royale mode might have been in active development since May of this year. Various patches throughout 2017 have included references to a survival game mode that might be a Battle Royale. It's worth noting that other game modes called Scavenger and Heist have also been discovered buried in CSGO's updates over the past couple of years, only to have never been released. It could be that Valve are currently working on a new game mode for CSGO. It could also just be leftover stuff from something Valve was once working on but later scrapped for whatever reason. Speaking of Valve, their Steam game client has had its community forums banned for all Chinese users. The forums have been available in China seemingly without issue until now. Why the Chinese government chose to block them now is unclear. It's likely something to do with PUBG's explosive release there, which is being played by nearly 80% of all Chinese Steam users. The store and other areas of Steam are still available in China. It's a good thing China hasn't banned the store yet because Steam's winter sale is now live. Microsoft Poland has potentially revealed that official keyboard and mouse support will be coming to the Xbox One. A development post of the Polish version of Microsoft's website stated, "Now owners of Xbox One console can choose these accessories, keyboard and mouse, and decide for themselves what they will use." The post was quickly deleted, which might indicate an official announcement is pending. Keyboard and mouse functionality in games is technically possible on the Xbox One, but it's not officially endorsed or supported by Microsoft. This also doesn't necessarily mean that game developers will be forced to enable keyboard and mouse support in their games. Games that offer loot boxes with randomized rewards on the Apple App Store are now required to disclose the odds of winning of what they contain. This is a huge improvement to the mobile gaming market. Right now, pretty much every popular mobile game, especially the free ones, features some kind of microtransaction loot box system. Hopefully, this new requirement, making the probabilities public information, will help deter app developers from taking advantage of players, especially children, who often make up the vast majority of players for some of their games. Now, China has already made this a law in their country, making it so that all game developers, whether you're on an app store or not, have to post the probabilities of winning items from Loot Crate systems. The fact that Apple is now implementing this system is indicative that other systems may follow suit, and we might be seeing either a law or just other mobile gaming developers or places like the Steam Marketplace requiring these odds to be posted. The studio that handled the porting of 2016's Doom to the Nintendo Switch is currently working on a Switch port for Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Given the hardware limitations of the Switch, the Doom port is actually pretty remarkable. What it lacks in resolution and frame rate, it makes up for by being an experience tailored for the hardware. Wolfenstein 2 on PC and consoles isn't without its issues though. The game has a nasty bit of crashing at random times and suffers from some performance issues. How those problems are dealt with on the Switch port could be the sticking point for players. Ubisoft's VR game Star Trek Bridge Crew no longer requires a VR headset or input system to be played on PC or PS4. The update also included enhancements specifically for this non-VR mode, like better graphics on PC. These enhancements can also be engaged in VR, provided that your PC is powerful enough. Players who own VR headsets can now play with other players who don't have them. The founding member of hacking groups Lizard Squad and Poodle Corp has pleaded guilty to his involvement in the activities of both groups. Their biggest stunt was knocking down the PlayStation and Xbox Live networks in 2014. The plea is part of a deal that comes with a 2.5-year jail sentence and a $350,000 fine. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which article or bit of news you thought was the most interesting this week, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.